Cool. This is our podcast studio. This is John.
Welcome.
John helped me to design and create the CoCast podcast studio.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. It was a pitch we did it for under $150. Kind of transformed this room from more or less a storage closet to an actual functional podcast studio. So, yeah. Welcome.
Get that nice swoosh sound from the soundproofing that we put on the bottom of the door there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So.
Okay. So.
Here's our studio.
Yeah. Here we have our soundproofing. We have 6 of these panels, and they're pretty easy to make. What you do is you just get 2x4s, cut them to the right length, and inside the 2x4s here we have soundproofing insulation, fiberglass insulation that we just laid in here. And on top of that, we laid it over just cheap plastic trash bags, and duct taped everything. Just duct tape is very important. And then put burlap over it to make it look all nice. And so we just started the podcast for CoSpace Podcast, CoCast, whatever you want to call it. And every guest we have over here, we have them sign one of the soundproofing panels. Looks like you signed something over there too. Nice. So still in the early stages, but hopefully over time, all these panels are just gonna be filled with signatures. First of all the walls used to be white, so we painted everything. Just changed the color to be more thematic, fit with the CoSpace color scheme. The ceiling we had to repaint completely. I don't know if you can tell here, but there are cracks coming out of the ceiling, and there are different things that are glued to the ceiling. So we actually had to, here would be like a good example. You can still see it a little bit. We had to score it and actually pull off chunks of glue that were stuck to the ceiling. And then we had to sand it down, spackle it, sand it again, and then repaint it. It's pretty basic stuff, but it took a while. Sanding spackle's not too much fun, but doable. And then before we actually took over this podcast studio, someone turned it into a music studio, they used this soundproofing, but it wasn't quite right. So this is soundproofing left over from an old pitch that we just repurposed and used here to make the pipes look a little bit nicer, kind of create a cool soundproofing diamond aesthetic back here. Added this chair.
Very nice chair.
Yeah. And then we found this chair in the trash. My girlfriend found it.
It's like a couch.
Perfectly good couch. Yeah, you can sit in it. Doesn't smell bad or anything. It's fine. Yeah, it's a really cozy spot. This used to be really echoey, so I think the big improvement was the soundproofing.
Mm.
And it definitely took some man hours between Katie and myself, but it was worth it. The room's a lot quieter now. And of course the mic that someone donated to this house that Katie uses for all our podcasts, and then other people come in here to do some musical recordings and the like.
We had to fill in some holes in the walls too. Oh, can we talk about how we hung these up? That was an
sure.
adventure.
Yeah. So we had to actually, let me get one that I can actually take down. Oh god, is it stuck on there?
Don't break it. It's not worth it for that.
All right. So we had to get a hammer drill. And first you get a drill bit and a hammer drill, and you gotta drill into the concrete. And then you have to get a screw for the concrete. Now some of these screws didn't even screw in,
Yeah.
so we just drilled a hole big enough so we could just slide it right in there. It's kind of cheating, but whatever. And then here we have here you can see the plastic I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So underneath this is just a black trash bag, and then we cover it with burlap to make it a little nicer. And then we have screws sticking out the side here to hold a paracord. And then the paracord hangs on to the screw. Come on. There we go. Easy. So that was pretty cool. Get to drill into concrete. That's pretty much it. I don't know.
So we cleaned, we ceilinged, we soundproofed.
Mm-hmm.
We painted.
Painted.
We furnished.
Furnished.
And this is what you get.
Yeah.
Throw some lights in there. It looks pretty cool. And then the finished product, we put the nice thing on the door. It's just some spray paint.
Yeah, so I designed this in SolidWorks, but you can do it in like AutoCAD or Photoshop or whatever. And then I went to the Learning Factory at Penn State and had it laser cut. So it's just a laser cut stencil. And we spray painted over it. That's fun.
Nice. And that's our crib.